Hi everyone, welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mentions. I'm Marianne. Thank you very much for tuning in today. I greatly appreciate all of you. If you're new, I am a psychic intuitive tarot reader and I have huge amounts of enthusiasm for the metaphysical world in general. So I like to incorporate astrology, numerology, oracles, runes, and maybe some more coming down the pike, which I will tell you about as I evolve. Let's just put it that way. So anyway, I'm going to be reading for every single sign for the month of December. Yes, December 2024, it is here. I'm actually reading or doing the readings in the second half of November because we are definitely in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. You know, it happens 3 times a year. And the notable effects, I will say, from Mercury retrograde definitely tend to involve transportation, technology, and communication. So it tends to slow things down, maybe confuse things a little more. Mercury is the fastest planet, and it appears to be turning backwards in retrograde motion, though that's not actually happening. There's a slowing down of things. There's a reviewing, revisiting, renewal, I don't know, any you can think of. You know, relaxing, that's a good one. I like that. If you can go on vacation during this time, all the better. But if you have a business, which a lot of us do, or you're, you know, focusing on your YouTube channel or anything having to do with speaking and communicating and things of that nature, it's good to double check everything that you send out via emails and so forth, as well as something written down, because mine already are noticeably affected by it. So I'm allowing as much time as I can to get out every single reading for you. And I'm going to start with Aries and end with Pisces. And so here we go. Now, what I like to do is I like to start with the chakra check, which is the energy centers in our body. It's in everyone's body. We are, in fact, energy as everything is. And so when you are in alignment with all of your chakras, life is just so much easier and it feels so much more empowering, and you feel in control and you feel balanced and all the beautiful things. And sometimes when there's a little stuck energy or blockages, you'll notice it in that specific area of the chakras. So I like to do and start with the chakra check before the reading. And then I have a little bit of a mantra and an association with a particular crystal, which is something I'm always inviting people to experiment with, because I find them to be very, very healing, very protective, and there's so many. And as I started my channel back up after having to take a very long hiatus, I went in the month of November, if you want to look back, I went over many of the crystals and would like to continue to do that. But there is a correlation with the chakra that I mentioned and the beautiful gift I got, whereby it talks about the particular crystal that's good to carry and hold, or however you want to utilize that, maybe under your pillow, to help strengthen the area of that chakra. Also, this comes with a little necklace, this kit gift that I got. So I'll place the proper crystal that comes in as I see it, and it comes up. I'm just going to put these under here for now. There's 7 chakras, actually 8. The 8th being the uniting of all of us, the consciousness of all, okay? And then, of course, the 7 being the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown, okay? So it's really wonderful stuff. And the more you delve into it, this is just a little snippet, the more you recognize how important it is and how it can really, really add so much to your life. So let me just pull up what comes up, and you have, oh, beautiful, what I believe to be the 2nd. Let me double check. It could be the 3rd, the crown chakra, the 3rd eye. Let me double check for you. And of course, this once again is the reading for all Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. And I always recommend you also watch your Venus and Mercury. because Mercury is about communication. And how are you communicating? And what is it that you need to say and speak about? So this is the 6th. It's actually the 6th, not the throat chakra, which is the other blue, a lighter color blue. And yes, the chakras have association with colors, and colors are incredibly energetic, and they have incredible energy aspects to them as well. But the 6th chakra, Aries, is my intuition connects me to the all-seeing, omnipotent nature of the universe. Excuse me, omnipresent. That's going to be happening a lot during the Mercury retrograde. It happens anyway, but just know the communication will be a little funky at times. So bear with me, please, and laugh with me, if you will. And so the omnipresent nature of the universe, divine intelligence flows through me. I am provided profound insights that allow me to navigate life's constant movement with simplicity and ease. So that's basically like a mantra you could do when you're feeling perhaps less than full or balanced, like I said, or energetic in that particular area of your third eye, which is right between the eyebrow. And it's so empowering, and it's something that I love and ask for every day from the universe, is to infuse me and to bring me the knowledge and the downloads and the information that I can then impart to you, because it's such an important part and passion of my life. I do use the cards, the tarot cards, for that guidance too, but I do receive information, and I will mention them as we go along if something is coming in out of the blue outside of the messages. And just know, a lot of times you can resonate that very moment and you think, this reading is just for me. But in fact, it's a general reading for all areas. So there's so many, variables there. And it's always a big part of the fact that you have free will into how you choose to receive or perceive, and the perspective that you have on readings in general in your life. So most people that are watching my channel definitely understand that, and it's not a matter of saying this is an absolute, but a lot of times there's, I would call, more than coincidences with my readings, which I'm extremely grateful for, and why I've been doing it for so long. Now I'm going to be doing the secondary part of this, which is just letting you know in regards to the the 6th chakra. And it's interesting because, bear with me. Nope, what are we doing here? It's the crown, the heart, the root, third eye. Insights, dreams, intuition. This could be much more powerful right now, Aries, during the month of December, and probably already has started. Now, mind you, as I finish, the amethyst, which is one of my most favorite, and it's always surrounding me in my readings. This is one of the most beautiful crystal amethysts I have. They're in my pockets at all time. It's one of the most healing crystals, in my opinion. And it definitely does that very thing. It gives you this intuition. It definitely protects you from toxicity and not, negative energy. And it also helps with dreams. And I love remembering dreams. I love understanding them. They are a way for our minds to work things out in our waking life. They give us messages and insight and profound, I would just say, epiphanies, but also, what am I trying to say? When you have a prophetic dream, it's expressing to you what can happen, and it actually does a lot of times. I know that I've experienced that, and it's such a magical thing, and it's hard to even put into words, but there's that connection that I speak of, the unknown, the mystical, the part of life that's always there available to us. The amethyst basically said, did you hear that? I really went, woo! The amethyst. I am connected to my inner knowing, which strengthens my healing abilities and insights. And keeping that strong understanding is so important in general. But listen, Aries, to me, and I've known this because I've known a lot of Aries, I've studied astrology since the time I was 12, and the personalities and the compatibility and so forth. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. You are the leaders. You know, you just come into this world with this ability to understand that I'm in charge here. I'm going to be the leader. I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to help. I'm going to teach. I'm going to, you know, have the strength and share with others the ability to keep their strength strong, you know, and just, it's just an amazing energy. You're a fire element sign. You are a cardinal sign, which means you usher in the new season of spring. There are 4 cardinal signs, and you being one of them. And it's a big, you know, important position. You know, the seasons must come, and you are the one there to just initiate that and to, you know, welcome it. And spring, of course, you know, where everything is, the winter's past and everything is still just starting to bloom again, and ideas and inspirations are there. And it's just a beautiful, uplifting energy. You have great powers of persuasion. You also are extremely, you know, powerful when it comes to, I'm trying to find the words and what's being said as I'm hearing and feeling. You just have this natural capability of wanting to just instill in people their abilities, you know, and how they have such powers within. You want to help people recognize their gifts, as I do. I actually have an Aries moon, and that's how my deepest feelings, you know, that's what the moons represent. And I want to share with everybody just how much they actually possess and how gifted we all are individually, as a collective, and just to utilize that and know no one's any more special than another person. Okay, it's what we believe in, and that's where the confidence comes in, and that's where you really help people out, because you want to share that with them. It's not a competition as far as, you know, who knows more, who's more insightful, who's more intuitive. Not in the least. It's, this is what we all have. This is what I'd like to have you realize, and so on and so forth. Now, before coming to do your reading, Aries, I just instantly knew intuitively that hot pink was going to be the glove of the day. Now, it's not any gender association whatsoever, but colors as well have incredible energy. And I mentioned earlier, healing properties. The hot pink part is the closest to a red, and the red is the fire energy that you exude, and it's the power that comes behind it. Now, we all know that fire can be incredibly useful in our lives. It helps us to heat. There's many things, but it can also be extremely dangerous, and it can be something that can scar you for life. I actually am a burn victim from a very young age, and it was one of those things. It was an accident, and we were camping, and we had a kerosene lantern, and it just blew up, and, you know, just bam, and I was running away, and I looked back and fell, and all the brush area around the area was just instantly lit up in fire. So I did fall, and it brushed underneath me, and yeah, I experienced some pretty serious 3-degree burns that I've grown and lived with my whole life. And I was very fortunate, because it could have been so much worse. And also, I was extremely afraid of fire after that. So that's my point. Fire has incredible benefits, and it has other aspects, like many elements. You know, it's how you use it. You never want to play with fire, okay? That's a given. Nobody was playing with fire, but it's just such a very fast, combustible kind of thing. Now, that's kind of a personality of a lot of Aries. You have the ability to anger quickly. You are ruled by Mars, and that is the warrior planet. That is the planet of war and, you know, conflict and so forth. That doesn't mean that's who you are at the heart. It means that you are going to stand up for how you feel. You're going to make your your feelings and opinions known. You know, you don't hold back. You can get mad easily at times, but you are also equally as easily to forgive and let things go. You're not one to harbor, you know, any kind of grudges or anything of that nature. So, well, we are entering into, after this month's, this last month's sun season of Scorpio, also ruled by Mars, I might add, even though a water sign, into the lighter Jupiter-ruled fire sign of Sagittarius, which is a beautiful, beautiful influence for you as a fellow fire sign. I love it myself. I absolutely just thrive on it, maybe because of having the fire moon, and anybody with placements of fire, you're going to notice things more than you would if you don't. But in the, simply put, in the, how would I word that? The astrology that has to do with the houses, the whole houses. Every single sign, the 12 signs are in one house. They represent a specific house, okay? So for all of us, we have Sagittarius somewhere in our chart, and that's something you can look up and for free. And it's really exciting and it's interesting. It's another level of knowing about yourself. But the point I'm trying to make is it's going to be a much lighter kind of energy. It's a sociable energy. Yes, the Mercury retrograde will take over. It starts, the shadow period started around the 8th of November, I would say, because it's about 2 weeks before the actual retrograde, but it might have been a little after. Something happened to me on the 8th that was very conducive to being retrograde-like. But that's not uncommon for me. I get things well before sometimes, just to remind myself. But anyway, what my point is, the actual retrograde starts on the 25th in Sagittarius. So yeah, it'll affect us in the same ways as I mentioned. It'll affect you, Aries, in just watching out for things. Make sure all the checkups are done with your car so that you don't have an incident. Last retrograde in August, which was pretty much all of August, I actually had to get an entire new car, new used car, but I had had one for many years, and that was unexpected, trust me. But that's what you prepare for, the unexpected. And as a business person and somebody who deals with clients, or even in general at work and stuff, you can rely on things changing and unexpectedly. And I see in my little appointment book that I keep, even though I have a website and people book online, I make sure I keep track because it's so phenomenal to me. And there are many, many reschedules during an eclipse. I'm sorry, forgive me. During a Mercury retrograde. Nothing that we can't handle, and we certainly can carry on with life, but it's fascinating. And during the time of that, I've noticed that I love more and more, because there's always a positive to everything in my mind, is that openings come up that allow you to do things that you would not have been able to do should a person, for example, like I mentioned, have rescheduled, or you're on a trip and you get a delay for your plane and you have to stop and there's a bigger layover, and you just like, you get to go and see this bargain in the shop that they have this sale that you would never have been able to get. And these are just little examples. So it's all good. It's a time to just really review, like I said, just kind of sit back and let it happen. It's a holiday season, so, you know, there's joy, and I can feel the energy of that. That's always any kind of, you know, every year with Sagittarius season. So I feel good about this. I think your reading is going to explain that and show that as well. Speaking of which, let's get to it. I do want to say that I did mention in the past, and will mention again probably every month, that I do change the layouts. And today I'm actually going back to the Celtic cross, and I love it. It has all the different positions of different circumstances that I'll explain as we go along. But also I'm changing the decks every month, and I'm going to do something this month that I've never done. Now, I had a channel before for almost 3 years, and I had to stop due to health issues. I've come back, and today it was so clear to me that I'm going to be using the very first deck that I ever got. And it is the Rider-Waite, which is a great deck to start. It was a gift to me, and the person who gave it to me made this beautiful little purple pouch. And I use this every day. And I was given this deck when I was 32 years old. And I will tell you, that is exactly half a life ago for me. And that's how long. It's incredible. I absolutely love this deck. It has done so many miraculous things for me. I used to keep a log for years when I would do my readings, because as I said, I do one every day for myself. It's one of my rituals in the morning with meditation and many other things I do before I start my day of work. But I wanted to share this with everybody. I just never have done it, and it's important. It's wonderful. It has the energy that just never stops giving. So just a few more shuffles. I shuffled prior as well. I always bless the deck, of course, and ask that Spirit, do you give us complete, clear, concise messages for the highest good of everybody involved. And once again, this is for the Aries, if you're just tuning in. And thank you for tuning in and being here. So as I said, we'll be doing the Celtic Cross. And as I do the layout, I'll explain what each position is. The first one is going to be the overall energy, which is basically you know, and kind of what you're bringing to the reading and have carried into this today. So we have, perfect. We basically have you, and it is the Page of Wands. Now the wands represent the fire element, and that is you, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. And the pages are the youthful aspects of our life. They are the children, they are the new ideas, they are the new concepts. When it's a wand, it definitely is an inspiration. It is something you want to put forth in action. You know, it could be a job, a relationship, absolutely, of any kind. But it's at this beginning stages. And I mentioned the spring kind of idea of, well, not idea, the fact that you represent as a cardinal sign the beginning of spring. And being the first sign of the zodiac, actually, astrology-wise, you start the new year. It starts in March when you have your birthday season, Aries. So if not now, and certainly not during a retrograde necessarily, we try not to start anything too new. It's more about reviewing and, you know, revisiting, and people tend to come back into your life. Don't be surprised about that. It could have to do with when spring starts again. And as I said, it could be a child. It could be somebody who exudes the characteristics of an Aries fire sign, like Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo, but not necessarily. It's also the child in us. It's keeping alive that beautiful, youthful, fun part of life, because a lot of us get very serious. But I will say that, from my opinion and what I've always witnessed and noticed, Aries tend to be youthful anyway. You know, you're the first sign of the zodiac. You're like a child. You're like, what? How do I do? Okay, I'm going to make it happen. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm starting it. I'm the beginning. So, you know, there's that. You tend to look younger as you age, and you have that vitality that's kind of unmatched, and it's beautiful. So that's the overall energy. There might be something brewing in your mind, something you're excited about starting. And yes, even a family, if it does in fact mean a child. So I like that a lot. It's a beautiful start, and it is your energy. Secondly, we have what I called the Blessings or Blocks card, and there you are. You've got the Seven of Pentacles. Now, we're going into the season of Sagittarius. It's followed by the season of Capricorn, which is the earth sign. But more importantly, it's about our grounded energy. It's about our you know, tangible parts of life. It's the coins, it's the pentacles, it's money, it's sustenance, feel, touch, see. There's 7 of them. There's 10 in total that you want to reach that apex of 10 pentacles, right? That's happiness in all areas. That's the most. 7 is great, right? It's like you've worked hard. You definitely have noticed you're doing well, and you are really more or less contemplating at this time. Perfect time during a retrograde. Are you doing what you want? Is it worth your time? Is it worth your energy? Many people will be changing jobs. And with this major turnabout starting tomorrow, everybody's heard about it. If you've turned on and you're interested in astrology or in any way, shape, or form, the transfer of Pluto once and for all, basically for most of our lifetimes, from Capricorn, an earth sign, to Aquarius, which is an air sign, which is futuristic, and, you know, Uranus and Saturn ruled, and timing, and just, you know, out of the box thinking and creativity and unexpected, beautiful discoveries and inventions that are coming up, and AI being one of them. Very in tune with technology, specifically, I would say one of the higher energies of Aquarius. Now you're really ready to start, before the new year, you're really contemplating in Aries and thinking about, am I okay with this? Am I going to continue with this? Or am I going to proceed with this new idea that's just been really activating my intuition lately? And only you know what that is. And I say do what you feel is right always, because that's the most important thing. You don't want to be persuaded. Not that you are, but I know you're going to give it some thought. You may sometimes want to just rush into something. I don't feel that way with you, with the 7. You actually are going to give it some time, and you've got time, you know, remember that. No matter what, things come to you the way they need to, in, you know, in exact, perfect divine timing. So then we move on to what I call the foundation card. Foundation's essential in our lives in every way. You know, without the proper foundation, you will not have things working in balance and to the best of their ability. It just doesn't work unless that's happening properly. And you have the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is an air element. And as I mentioned, it is Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And my goodness, well, something I haven't even mentioned, but I will, is in addition to this incredible full moon last, Friday. Yeah, it was just happened. It was a huge, beautiful Earth Taurus full moon that was just, I felt it so strongly. I actually thought I was coming down with something. That's how much it affected me. And luckily that didn't occur, but I wasn't sure. I couldn't pinpoint it, but it wasn't great. And, you know, it happens. We get sick, but I got through it. But the Taurus energy, the grounded energy, the wanting to really stabilize things for the long run. And then the fact that we've had these North Node eclipse in Aries, your sign Aries, and then South Node in Libra, and the last one in Libra being on, October 2nd, 3rd, depending on where you're located. We're still feeling the effects of that and the transformations and so forth. But the Aquarian aspect of Pluto going into Aquarius till, I believe it said 2043, so 20 years and even longer. The changes, you're going to feel it. It's going to be gradual. It starts at the beginning, you know, degrees, and then works its way through, but you will notice a difference in that. I'm going to leave it at that. But to say that this is all about fairness and justice and equality and working with, you know, partnerships and working with others, and the reciprocity, the giving and taking is far more equal than it's been in many years. So I love the Sphere Foundation. It's working with people in institutions like doctors and lawyers and people. It's a mind. Air signs are about the brain and the mind, and they're always wanting to learn, and they want to share, and they want to communicate. It's about connection and communication. Might be a little bit, you know, frazzled during the retrograde, but that's okay. This is beautiful. I love seeing this. See how strong, and, you know, the sword is here for information. It's all about information and wanting to, you know, to share that with others in all the right ways. So it could be writing, it could be speaking, it could be a YouTube channel, of course. Perhaps that's something that's appealing to you, Aries. I know anything you put your mind to, you're going to do amazing at. So the next card is your recent past, and you have strength. Now, we actually have Mars, once again, your ruling planet, in the sign of Leo. It was in Cancer for about close to 2 months. It went into Leo. I don't remember the exact date. It'll stay in Leo and start to retrograde in Leo on December 6th. And, you know, lose some of the energy, but it's always there. Trust me. It's just a little bit, you know, you notice a little bit more, maybe lack of energy perhaps, or motivation perhaps. It doesn't matter. Holidays are around. I mean, everybody just wants to enjoy themselves and not get too serious. You know, our businesses tend to close during the last couple of weeks sometimes, or a week, depending on where you work and what your job is. Mine doesn't, but, you know, there's that strength that's been there, that's been guiding you and giving you this impetus to want to just keep going no matter what. And Leo being your fellow fire sign yet again. So you've had this beautiful cooperation, if you will, and drive, which is nothing unusual for you. I love that a lot for you. The next one is your possible future. Wow. You've got the star. I mean, the star is pretty much self-explanatory, but it does represent this astrological sign of Aquarius yet again. So you're very in tune. It's a very positive, I would say, you know, complementary energy with Pluto going into Aquarius for Aries versus the Capricorn. That was a square that wasn't a great, and that was since 2008. And then even before that, but it wasn't the best. And now it's like you've got this dream, you've got this vision, you want to proceed, you're not going to stop, you know, as is above so below. You've got the water, which represents information. It'll be coming to you, you'll be offering it, you'll be teaching in some way perhaps. It's about speaking and knowledge, and it's wonderful because it's so topical to what's happening, and you're just right there in the energy. I love seeing that in my readings. And then the next one is the immediate future. And you have the High Priestess. Okay, this can represent the sign of Pisces. Now, there was a little preview of the next eclipse season that's coming around in 2025, starting in January, with a lunar eclipse on September 17th, I believe, in Pisces. Our higher mind, our ability to connect to the unseen, the unknown, you know, the most spiritual sign, Pisces, the most creative, really tuning in. That's a perfect thing to do during retrogrades. It's also great as we end the year to kind of reminisce and really think about, you know, what our desires are with the Seven of Pentacles, as I mentioned, and really tuning into how you're feeling. This is a very important time, and it is every year, even as quickly as it comes. It's hard to imagine it's December, but you know it is. And this is another major arcana, which I haven't brought up, but we've got 3 major arcanas in a row. This is Spirit saying yes to you, okay? Yes to your ideas, yes to your ability to express yourself and communicate to people what it is your needs are and receive them back, okay? It's not been easy. And mind you, you have your last eclipse in your sign. I think it's March 29, 2025, Aries. So there's one more part that's going to just really send you there and just get you on track to where you need to go. And it feels beautiful. And I mentioned that before the reading. Something felt like it was really, really working in your favor. So then we have the stem of the Celtic cross. So we start with what I consider to be your perspective and kind of your overall feeling in general right now about the reading, about your life. And you have the Queen of Pentacles. There's that earth energy again. That reminds me of this moon and how it can, well, the sign of Taurus has always been the money sign, okay? And that was what the full moon was. And the full moon shines a light on things and it culminates things, so there's new beginnings. But the reality is that there's something involving your money and you've been thinking about it a lot and you want to improve it, no doubt, we all do. But there's way more energy this time and now. For whatever reason, I can't say it. It's a general reading. I do personal readings. Please look at the link below. If you have any questions, feel free to text me with the puremassagetherapy.com. That's my website I use right now. I do readings in person. And I just want to say that I General is fine, but there's so much that we could go even deeper, and I would love to do that for you. But that aside, there's a lot of energy regarding your finances, and I think you can reach heights that you probably, I think you believed it, but there were just things that were stopping it and blocking it, and the Aquarian energy is going to change things up with way more opportunities and out of the box kind of thinking. Entrepreneurial aspects really come into mind for Aquarian time. So the Queen of Pentacles is about just that abundance, you know, that in all things, in health and well-being and family. And that's how you're feeling. You're like, this is what I'm wanting and this is what I'm going to create. And you will. And it's really just like that. Then you have in your position of environment. Oh my goodness. And it just keeps getting better, Aries. You've got the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is our emotions, right? The water elements, the Pisces, the Cancer, the Scorpio. We were just in and are in Scorpio season for legitimately another 3 days, I guess. I'm filming this on the 18th. So, wow. Wishes fulfilled. What is it you're wanting to achieve? You know, the 9, the 10 is the best. It's family, it's everything. It's that satisfaction with everything that you've put, not only physically as a fire sign, you're really about action and movement and seeing things, you know, happen, making them happen. But this is more that feeling part, which we all have, and the combination is what makes things truly manifest. So that's what you're feeling. That's how you feel. And of course, around the holidays, it's really cool too, because you want to associate with people and celebrate and feel good. And you get to choose and pick who those people are and who you want to give gifts to and so on and so forth, right? You are the Santa in a lot of ways. So then we go into the next position, which is going to be your hopes or fears. And you've got the World. Okay, so you've got the major arcana of the World, and the World is like you're changing in ways you probably never thought you would. You're not going to recognize yourself by the end of next year. This was a formative year where we were planning and envisioning and, you know, manifesting, but next year really puts it into play. And then by 2006, it's really on, and you could travel. You have a change of location. It could have already happened. A lot of times I hear that has, but that's okay. I don't know or don't specify time per se unless it shows up pretty clearly in the cards and repeats itself. But only fear is that you don't want to, you know, to expand and grow. And it's necessary for everybody, right? And I would only imagine that would be the case because you have placements as an Aries in your natal chart that are preventing you from really wanting to just break free, but allow yourself the time to meditate in quiet, being alone, listening to your inner guide, which is always there for you, and allowing yourself to progress and evolve, okay? Because as outgoing as you can be, there are more quieter Aries. My dad was one of the best people in the world, but he was quiet, you know? He knew what he wanted, and he did amazing things. He just wasn't one to really, you know, it has to do with how you're raised and things too. There's so much to astrology. But the final card for you, Aries, is, okay, it is the Four of Pentacles. Well, you're holding something close to your heart, that's for sure. You know, you see you've got the crown pentacle at the top, your heart, and your feet. So this is very important to you. And sometimes you can hold too tightly. It does represent the coins yet again, and it does have to do with money. So perhaps, even though you're doing really well, you know, Christmas holidays come around and we kind of go crazy at times, where you're not necessarily wanting to do that because you've got ideas as to how to invest this coming year that are going to make it far more, a bigger return. Okay, and I'm happy to see that because you're smarter for it. You know, people love you for you. You don't need to buy their love. Never thought that you had. I'm not trying to imply that, but sometimes I'm guilty of it myself. I just want to keep giving, and it could be to the detriment, you know, so keeping that in mind. And also just being sensible, spending enough and saving enough, you know, all those things. 4 represents stability. So I love that for you. And I know that you have that. And this reading has been pretty astounding in positive ways for you. So I only hope you get even a taste of this, but I know if you see this, it can inspire you to do so, which is what I love to do on my channel. If you like what you're hearing or you like my energy, I would love you to like and subscribe and support my channel, because this is my passion. And I'm a longtime massage therapist, still working, and I will not be working as a massage therapist by the end of 2026. Hopefully, I hope I can continue to do it, but this is going to be what I do. And it's going to be up to you if you're wanting to see it or not, because, you know, that's what YouTube requires. I want to be monetized. I want to just continue to do something that means so much to me. And I've done, like I said, for half of my life now. So that would be great. No pressure, but it is free. So that's something I always want to mention. I'm going to finish with one reading from, well, actually, I'm going to pull the angel deck. This is my second deck that I've only shared a couple of times, but I pull angel cards every day. And, you know, angels are around us always. I mean, I talk to Archangel Michael daily. I ask him to live with me and my kids so that, you know, we're always protected. And I mean, how many? We could just go on and on. I've got books and books on angels and how they're there. And if you ask, you will receive guidance. Sometimes it's very clear, and I know you recognize that too, Aries. Sometimes it's more obscure, and you're thinking, huh. The other day I was walking out of the house, and of course this feather was there, which I always relate to angels, and I had to keep it because it's absolutely gorgeous, and it makes me feel good. So in closing, there's so much potential. And I've always believed that about you anyway, Aries. There isn't much that stops you when you get your mind set on something. So many blessings to you. It's a wonderful time. We had the second new moon in Sagittarius, which could also have been extremely important for you in starting as your first card with the page in the beginning of something and keeping that alive. Never, you know, giving up. And following through is really important. So your message from the angel is friendship. Now, friendship is super important in life. I miss a lot of my friends. There's been huge changes in that. That's another story. It definitely had a lot to do with the placement of Capricorn, though. And now it's going into Aquarius. And so a lot of changes in many ways. And I will add to you that friendships can be, you know, short-lived. They can be for a lifetime. All of them are important. All of them teach us things. And I think you're going to be more discerning about who you want in your company, to be honest. And the angels are saying that's a great thing to do. You know, be cognizant. You're a very generous person, Aries. And just want to make sure that you feel comfortable knowing that you are surrounded by people that love you equally, okay? So thank you again for taking the time to stop in and watch my videos. Have an amazing, beautiful holiday, and if you celebrate the holidays, and I hope to see you in the new year 2025. Share whatever comments you can that may apply to this reading that's happened. I would greatly appreciate that as well. Until then, thank you so much. Bye for now.